Okay, so a few people have asked me what settings I'm using for the Philips Ambilight TV. This is a 58-inch model. The 55 is an IPS screen, I understand. The 58 and the 65, I believe, is a VA panel, which obviously is a better quality screen. So yeah, I thought I'd run through the settings because obviously people are struggling with HDR content, and to be fair, it's not quite as good on HDR. Dolby Vision is the best option, and luckily most things through various apps and things are going to be more Dolby Vision going forward, and I actually struggle to find HDR content these days through the normal channels. So yeah, I thought I'd run through a few settings and show you what I've got on here and do a little demo afterwards as well, because there's this demo built into the TV, so hopefully it should be fine for copyright and that sort of stuff, which I had problems with on my first video. Right, so we'll go for picture settings. Okay, right then. So we have people have got their own versions of what they prefer, but I obviously use these just because I think it's the best mix of everything. The picture style, some people go for a particularly tuned version. I've gone for just a natural look. I think it looks better. Some people go for movie, they say it looks a bit better. I find it's a bit too it's not quite the same. Movie looks okay, but it gives you a bit of a movie effect, if that makes sense, for sort of almost like a slowdown between frames. It's not great, I don't think. So I opt for natural. Color wise, I'll go for 60, which I think is the standard setting. Any lower, you tend to find that skin tones look really pale. Any higher, you tend to get the issues a bit like Samsung have, where the reds are really red, it's too red, things like that. It's not great at all, so I tend to go for 60 as a good mix. Philips have picked a good one there. Backlight, again standard 85, that's fine, perfectly fine. Any more than that and it just looks, well, you can see on the right, it looks a bit sort of too bright and like a sheen over it. It's not great. Sharpness is one where some people prefer a little bit higher, so I'll go for 5 on this. I'll drop it down to 2, just because it stops any artifacts in the screen, because you get on certain streams, mainly on the sort of Netflix, that sort of stuff. You get a few artifacts on the screen, especially in HDR. HDR, you tend to, if everything's fine until someone moves their head quick, for instance. If it's a head movement or hand movement quick on the screen, it's like it can't keep up. Whether that's to do with the sharpness or not, I'm not sure. Whether it's just the HDR settings, the HDR on this TV, I'm not sure. It's not that noticeable, but it's annoying enough to try and iron out. If anybody else has got any other settings that they use to iron this out, it'd be quite handy to know if you can comment. Right, what we've got, brightness. Brightness is at 50, which is the standard amount, which is perfectly fine. Some people complain on this TV about the blacks, which is why they adjust the expert settings, which is on here. They sometimes adjust the where are we? Which one is it? It's the white point alignment, that one there. They sometimes adjust that in here, drop down the green and the blue to bring the blacks up a bit, if that makes sense. To be fair, I don't notice it that much. It's not that bad at all. So I tend to leave that as it is. To be fair, I think it's all right. Color enhancement. This is in the expert settings. I always leave that off. I think pretty much everyone does that. It doesn't work really very well at all. Again, it's a Samsung style look. If you like Samsung screens, you like that type of thing, that's fine. If you like vivid reds and things, it's fine, but it can be too overpowering in most things. Color temperature, so a lot of people choose warm. I prefer normal because I don't adjust any of the other settings for the color, so I tend to prefer a normal color, and that brings up a nice skin tone, which you'll see in the demo shortly. wide point we've already done, just leave it at 2 point, and obviously the standard settings on that. You can adjust it to your own customizations if you like. Contrast mode, some people turn that off. You can turn it off. I tend to find optimized for picture sounds a bit better. Looks a bit better even. So yeah, you tend to, if it's off, obviously you're taking out any processing for that side of things at all. If it's optimized for the picture, it does adjust it slightly. You can't tell it's adjusting it, but it does adjust it very slightly through the picture. It's quite a clever system. Works really well, I think, to be fair. So I always leave that on as optimized for picture. Then we have, there we are, dynamic contrast. That's always off. That never works. It's the worst thing in the world. Don't ever have that on. Nobody bothers with that. That's definitely off. Video contrast 85. That's the standard setting again. You can see on the right hand side, if you have it any higher, it gives you grey dark blacks. You can drop this. Some people drop it to 60 or 75. I think I've seen some people drop it to 50 and then change the gamma to bring it up a bit. But yeah, there's literally no point from changing it apart from your own personal look of it. I mean, you could probably drop it down to 80 if you've got problems with blacks, 75 maybe, but you'll just find you've got a bit of a duller screen, so it's not quite as good, I think. Not for daylight anyway. It's good for nighttime viewing, but not for daylight. The gamma is set as 0, but 0 is actually 2.2, which is the normal setting for what everyone tends to need. So I leave it at 2.2. Some people like to have they like to have slightly higher. So some people set it to 1, but I would find it's again brings a bit of a strange tinge to the screen, and it doesn't look good to me. So I leave it at 0. The one thing I do leave on, well, there's two things I leave on for the processing. This is one of them, the ultra resolution. Leave that as on. You can turn it off. There's a picture on the right hand side there. You can see where it's better quality, so to speak. On the ultra resolution, it's sort of like a sharpness almost. To be fair, it's not that much difference. On that picture there, it looks like loads of difference, but it's really not. It's not that much difference at all. But I do leave it on because it makes a slight difference, so it's worth having. Done it again, sorry. Noise reduction, always turn that off. You don't need that. It doesn't make a difference. Even when I'm on about that, when I was talking about that artifacts and things on the streaming, I don't even know if it's a stream issue. Actually, it could be a stream issue. I don't know, because it doesn't do it on Netflix on Dolby Vision. It doesn't have that, so I'm guessing it's not a streaming issue. And I've got a good internet connection at 200 meg, so it shouldn't be an issue. But noise reduction, you can pretty much turn that off. I've never seen any benefit to that at all. Same with the Mpeg artifacts reduction. Same again, it doesn't do anything. It's supposed to iron out any pixelation issues and things, but I don't get those anyway. It doesn't have any issues as far as I can see, and just any extra processing is usually a bad thing on TVs anyway. You're best with a bit of an original setting. The other thing I do leave on, which most people are going to say, why are you doing this? On the motion styles, most people will turn it off. Some people like the movie effect, which again, it gives you it is a good effect, but it slows everything down. Everything looks weird, as if it's kind of catching up with itself all the time. It's very, very odd to me. It affects my eyes sometimes. Obviously, you've got personal mode. You can adjust it yourself as well. But I find the best standard is actually the standard setting for smooth. It irons out all the, like I was saying earlier on about the face movements. So it's you do get a difference in that. It literally does iron out. If someone moves their head quick, say in Dolby Vision, you don't see it. If you turn it off, you can tell. You can see where the difference is. You can see there's almost like you can see between the scenes almost, where it's flickering. It's not good for me. That's all smoothed out on the smooth setting, so I do actually leave that on. So what I'll do a demo on the Dolby Plus, because I found a little demo thing on the TV the other day. Press the home button again. There's a demo button here. You can have a little run through. Where are we? Here we go. Demo me. I've only got one demo video. I think it's a standard Dolby Vision clip that's free to all, so to speak. A lot of people use this for their demos, so have a little look. You can see the clarity on that mask, especially. The water effect in a second is going to be really good. That's one good thing about Dolby Vision, the water effect. See how good that is? So great quality. The colours, I was saying about the colours earlier, that's set on 60 and natural colour scheme. I can't think, that looks, I mean, I don't know if you can pick it up on the video, but that looks the best to me, literally the best. I've tried most settings on this now, so I think this is the best option. But I know on these demos they do slow things down. It's everything sort of slowed down so it doesn't have any issues with motion and that sort of stuff. It's always the way they always do it, but it is good. I'll stop that one. Oops, how do I do that? There we go. But yeah, that's basically the settings I use. So anyone got any comments about what settings they use, or any extra things that they'd like to comment on, feel free to do so. If you can subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. I'll do all sorts of little weird videos like this, or gaming videos, or obviously the projects I've got going on with the car stuff. But yeah, feel free to have a look at any of the other videos I've got, and comment if you've got anything to comment on.